Well, on his Thursday throwback story here on this 12th day of September 2024, we're going to be talking about my first day of school. And this is my first day of school, like my first day of school, not like the first day every year, but the first day of school I ever attended school was back in 2002. It was September of 2002 because that's when school starts. And I remember it's not a really good memory, it's a very foggy memory because I mean, of course, I was only like 5 or 6 years old or something. Yeah, I didn't go. I didn't really. I didn't go to preschool or anything. I went to just basically just to kindergarten, and then off to the other grades and everything. But I basically just started with kindergarten. I didn't go to uh, preschool or to to anything like that. I just basically stayed home. My mom and my baby sister. Um, when I was like 5. So I didn't like go to preschool or anything. I just started off, like I said, with um, kindergarten. So, like I said, it was around 2002. Yeah, so around like what 23 years ago or something. No, not 23 years ago. 21 years ago, I think, or something like that. Anyway, so anyway, so I started at a school that actually closed. It was called Champlain Elementary, and they closed. Actually, I had to repeat kindergarten because I remember they closed, and so I had to repeat kindergarten, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. It's kind of like I said, it's a foggy memory because I didn't go there for that long, and also it was when I was really little, so I didn't really remember it that good. But I remember there's this older girl that was in my class, and every time I would be sobbing. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't like the fact that I would be away from my mother. I was very and I'm still like a mama's boy, as you can say, or something, but not as much as I used to be, because I'm older now. I mean, but I guess like even if I'm like 40, 50 years old, I'm always going to be a mama's boy or whatever. But that when I was a baby, or not baby, when I was a little kid, I was really I was really close to my mom or my grandmother. But I was really close to my mom, so I really didn't want to go to school because my mom wasn't there. But I had this older girl that was in the class. She probably was like 8 years old, and her name was what was her name? Um, I was like probably 5 or 6. Yeah, probably like 5.5 or something, or 6, or no, I was like 6.5 probably. And Kelly, that was her name, Kelly. And she used to basically pick me up, bring me into the class, and she would come for me because she knew that I didn't want my mom to leave. So she would pick me up. She would basically pick me up because she was tall. She's still tall, and she would pick me up and bring me into the class. And also, I had this aide, Mrs. Kopic. Mrs. Kopic is uh, I still talk to her every once in a while, but she's uh, so I still talk to her every once in a while. I still see her every once in a while. I still say hi and everything. But Mrs. Kopic was I called my grandmother I called Nina, and I used to call Mrs. Kopic the other Nina at school because Mrs. Kopic was like a grandmother to me. She used to like baby me a lot, but which was a good thing, but wasn't a good thing. But whatever. I mean, but she would come for me as well. Like she was always by me. She always would be. She wasn't my technically like my aide. Well, she was, but she wasn't. She was the class aide, so she would comfort all the other kids too. But I basically was her favorite, basically. And she actually, I think she thought of me as a grandson too because she didn't actually have grandkids until just recently, like several years ago. But at that time, she had no grandkids. She just had her daughter, and that was about it. So I think she thought of me as like another kid or something, or another like a grandson or something. But anyway, so she she would also come for me as well. But um, like I said, the first day of school, I remember I was basically bawling, crying. And another embarrassing thing that I used to do every time when I was in school, I wanted to come home all the time. This is kind of disgusting, but I used to poop my pants. I don't know if it was on purpose. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of people's like, "Oh, it was on purpose." When you're a little kid, I mean, you can't really help it when you're a little kid. Yes, I was potty trained and stuff, but I, you know, I wasn't familiar with the toilet as much as everybody thought I was, because I was familiar with my toilet because I didn't start school, the toilet at home and stuff. So, anyway, I know it's gross, but that's what I used to do all the time too, to come home. So, but I didn't do it as much. I only, it was only like because I wanted to come home. That's the only reason why I did it. But yeah, I think it was a good thing that Mrs. Kopic was babied me, but I also think it was a bad thing too because through first grade, second grade, and third grade, I would be looking for Mrs. Kopic and she wasn't there because the school thought that she babied me too. They basically put her in another school because when that school closed, the Champlain Elementary, she was put in another school in the district, another elementary school. So I wasn't able to have Mrs. Kopic as my aide again because the school also thought that she would baby me as well. So they didn't want that. They wanted me to be on my own. They wanted me to grow up. So, but anyway, yeah. So I was always. I didn't really care for school. I really didn't care for school, to be honest. I wasn't really a big fan of school. Maybe not. Well, I did have some teachers that were nice. I mean, school was a good place to be because I learned and everything. I mean, I think we all think, we all have that thing where we don't like school, but then like years later after we're done school, we were graduated, like I am right now, I think I took it for granted, to be honest, because if you think about it, there's some countries that you have to pay to go to school, and there's some countries that don't have school at all, you know. And I think about that now that, maybe I shouldn't have took it for granted and everything, And but I think we all don't like school in some way or another. Some of us do love school, but I think most of us, when we were in school, we don't like school. We just want it to end. And then when we graduated and like 10 years, 20 years down the road, we're all like, wow. Like, we wish we were in school. We wish we weren't adults or anything, because we have the adult problems now and stuff. But anyway, that was my first day of school ever. I actually remember my mom brought me to a convenience store called Borderview Grocery, and we went there, and I got snacks and everything and something to eat. I used to eat these Lunchables that used to have like the brownies and stuff in them, and I used to bring Lunchables all the time to school all the time, because I didn't eat this for like the first 2 years of attending school, first grade, and kindergarten, and then after that I would get lunch at school because it was like more uh what's more costly to just buy lunch instead of just buying lunch at school. So um after a couple years I would get lunch at school, but for like the first 2 years I would get like these Lunchables all the time to bring to school because I didn't eat the food at the school. But anyway, that's that's my first day of school. I know school has actually started last week. It actually started a week from today. It started a week ago today, I mean. So school's been going this year for a week, or this school year at least, for a week now. So, but I wanted to do this because last week I did another Thursday throwback. But anyway, this Thursday throwback story here, my first day of school, kindergarten. Thanks for watching the story.